All right, let's just dive into this. This January 6th, I've seen Kamala Harris get in front of that goddamn White House green screen, the fake presidential suite, or the prop sets, if you will. And she just said straight up, Jan 6 was worse. Jan 6 erection or resurrection was worse than Pearl Harbor, 9/11, the Korean War, the Russian War, the Vietnam War, the Holocaust, the Rwandan genocide, the earthquake in Haiti, the meteor that knocked out all the dinosaurs, almost potentially eliminating all complete life on Earth. She's like, no, Jan 6, just as bad, if not even worse. Welcome to the weekend show, ladies and gentlemen. I swear to God, I'm fucking done, dude. I swear. I can anybody believe this shit? Like, I mean, anybody. Like, I swear to God. Okay. This is a weekend show with Mediumjay. If you don't know, it's your boy Mediumjay. I'm a rapper. Sometimes I do news on this show. Sometimes I fake it and I just make it up because I do what the news does. I'm taking notes on CNN. I'm taking notes on on CNN and Fox News and BBC, and I go, oh, these guys are all full of shit, all of them, and including the presidents, the vice presidents, the prime ministers. I looked at there's this something that will keep it local. Justin Trudeau, my fucking president of Canada, this loser guy, he comes up and he says, there's these guys partying down Canadian flight down to Miami, and they're partying all no masks, all just chilling, drinking, having shots, popping the tequila, getting ready to go down to Miami, just fucking vibing. And it was like, oh yeah, we're having fun. And then Justin Trudeau gets on stage and he goes, in his fucking two-piece suit, probably like about $100. Low key, he's known to be cheap. He's thrifty. He gets on stage and he goes, yeah, what they did, they put people's lives at risk and it's irresponsible. And there's going to be, he says some shit like there's going to be consequences. I'm like, dude, like, they're going down to Miami. They're going to do exactly what they did off the plane with all the other people. How the hell, what difference does it make? You're flying in a plane. First of all, you're sitting next to people anyways. That mask ain't doing shit. Your elbow rubs ain't doing, you know what I mean? Just here, put the flight attendant, put the drink inside this so that we're not touching. That's just so dumb. It doesn't make sense. But today it's gonna be one of those news segments like John Oliver. It's gonna be like those like John Oliver or the old school Jon Stewart. We're gonna do that, but I wish though, like, I really like John Oliver. I wish I could just be like John Oliver. I wish I could like slice his skin off and put it over mine, and then I'll just do his show like the Kamala Harris is speaking at the anniversary shit, man. Like, she was speaking at the Jan 6. She compared it, to other events such as 9/11 and Pearl Harbor, and of course losing your keys right before you're about to leave work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. It's a tragedy, nonetheless, but you could shrug it off, I guess. Even though you, okay. Let me do that joke again. So it'd be like, Jan 6, Kamala Harris was speaking at an anniversary of Jan 6. She compared it to Pearl Harbor, 9/11, or losing your keys right before you're about to leave. You just had them in your hands. That's some John Oliver shit, but it's tragic, no doubt. Let's be real. But there's no way that you could literally believe that. Like, the literal sheep that lined up to form the vaccine shot and in promotion of the vaccine would be like, you know what, I'm kind of waking up this, but I don't believe this. It's like, bullshit. I don't think that, you got to be out of your mind to think that it's just as bad as flying planes into buildings. You know what I'm saying? It's the insurrection where a couple of people, I think, got hurt. One person died, Ashley Babbitt. But for what could have happened, right, is what really worries the elites. What could have happened is what really worries these politicians. What, like, it's finally the shit that they write on the fucking bills, right? Legislator pass, and it's not going to be my problem. What are the American people going to do? And they just pass it off. And it finally came to their doorstep. And it was like, knock, knock, motherfucker. This shit's real. Open up the door. Fuck it. We're kicking the door in. They do that to us. They send, and actually not even them. They send people to kick in our doors. They send people in to fuck us up. And they go, we're going to pay them significantly less than we're getting paid. So when the Americans actually did revolt, it was kind of awe-inspiring, right? And to think that they said it's just as bad as 9/11, and the Kamala Harris said, and they had the people crying, and it looked very staged. Like, it looked like fucking actors. I don't think that those people that got on stage were really even there protected. What were they? There's people letting in people. Like, there's cops and security guards just going like, okay, well, just open the door because it's fucking kind of weird. Guys like, it's weird. There's a guy actually yelling like, yo, let's break in, and he was part of the FBI. He was like, yo, let's break in, storm the Capitol. He was the guy like with the original idea. Everyone looked around going like, is that crazy? And then he's just like, yeah, no, it's not. Get your horns on, horn guy, and wear the bear fucking suit. It's fucking ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. But to compare it to Pearl Harbor and 9/11, you know what I'm saying? When like, it's like there's a guy on Nancy Pelosi's desk making fake phone calls like, hey, what's up? I'm in the Oval Office, baby. You know, a guy with a flagpole, kind of, yeah, this is America. All of those things. And then you go like, okay, 9/11, right? I don't think you can make fun of really 9/11, really. It's not like a laughing matter. This was a joke. Like, this was like, it was, sure, people got hurt. Sure, people had heart attacks. A lot, like, I think there was more deaths actually, like, from like, there was more accidental deaths than on purpose deaths, right? Could you say that about 9/11? Could you say that about Pearl Harbor? You say that about like the Holocaust? Or actual tragedies that she was trying to compare it to, if Justin Trudeau said some shit like, hey, that plane flying over the building, or over what building? No, the plane flying over to Miami was just as bad as what happened in the residential schools with the natives. Would you go like, Yep. Would you? Because that's fucking ridiculous, right? That's a ridiculous statement. You go like, wait, I'm trying to catch the metaphor. Where did I couldn't track it because they're saying a couple of guys fucking partying, going to Miami, putting people at risk. And I'm for the people listening at home, I'm doing the air quotes. Putting people at risk is just as bad as when the government tried to wipe out, and you know what I mean, like the powers that be of the country tried to wipe out a whole race of children. Is that just as bad? Because that's what Kamala Harris said. She said some shit like that. Like, hey, a couple of guys storming the Capitol was just as bad as people flying planes into buildings. People like this is like first of all, there was no plane I don't think there was. What maybe one of those RCXD planes, and they're fucking around like and like AOC was in the corner crying, and it was like they could have raped me, and then everyone's like, no one wants to rape you. Who wants to rape AOC? Maybe back in the day. They took my shoes and they're smelling my foot scent, and now they got the foot lust. I can't believe half the shit that she spews, man. Because way back in the day, man, I fucked AOC in the face, right? And I tossed her 3,200 ones all over a naked body, and this was like 16, 17 years ago. And she has yet to claim it in taxes, right? Like, I put the pending gift out, and she didn't claim it yet in taxes. Like, you know, when you give a gift, you give the gift, and then the person receives the gift, and they have to claim it in taxes if it's over like $30-$40. But a lot of people don't do that, right? I'm just saying. Also, AOC don't do that. She don't tax her own self. So how the fuck you expect her to tax the rich, right? It's a joke for legal reasons. It's a joke. That was a joke. But yeah, is a single reason for Americans to jump into World War II, which was Pearl Harbor. Keep in mind that the Holocaust didn't do it. Holocaust didn't allow them to jump into World War II. They kind of knew about it. But then once Pearl Harbor happened, then they dropped 2 atomic bombs, right? So we got to imagine that that's just as bad as people using the velvet ropes queuing up for this peaceful protest, right? That's just as bad, right? We've got to say this. It's like the thing that's led the Americans into the World War II. This is what she said. Like, we're just breaking down what she said. The government was scared, right? This is what it is. The government was scared. That's the first time. Like, never in a million years did they ever see the fucking quote from Thomas Jefferson. You know, they wouldn't have expected this quote to come to life, right? The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Boy, that Thomas Jefferson, he was quite the QAnon conspirator, right? Well, yeah, that guy, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, fucking QAnon for sure. But here's a list of things that is just as bad as January 6th, 2021. The American insurrection. Genghis Khan crossing the Great Wall of China, you know, trying to get the Wall of China. Genghis Khan trying to get past the Great Wall of China. King Louis getting the loophole of divorce by cutting off his wife's head. Right, that's just as bad. And Christopher Columbus finding America after seeing a bunch of Aborigines or Aboriginals, or I guess now the politically correct term would be Aboriginex. Aboriginex? Gen X? Yeah. Aboriginex. But anyways, moving on. You know, there was people in the way. Genghis Khan, there's a wall in my way. Hey, this is Genghis Khan. Louis the king, I think it's the 8th. I can't do it. The 8th is the guy that cut off. Yeah, started a trend. There's a naked bitch in my way, right? There's a naked bitch in my way. Then Cristo Colombo. There's all these people that settled into the land. They're in my way. These people are in my way for my land, right? And it's just the same on Jan 6 was little old Harris clocking into her work. She punched the clock, and then she goes up to her desk, up to her room or whatever, goes, hey, what? There's a guy with bullhorns in my way. That's as bad. That's just as bad, right? This is as bad. That's what they want you to believe, at least. In all seriousness, the Jan 6 insurrection was something to be threatened. It's like a threat to the elites. It's like that. It's a threat to the politicians and overall a threat to the system. It's something that doesn't sit well if you, for years and years and years, never really expected your life to be in danger. You lived amongst the elites. You go like the security guy, the guys that we pay barely minimum wage need to fucking risk their lives to protect us, and that kind of fell through because motherfuckers even if they weren't fed, kind of letting this thing go on. People, that's scary for the security guards to start opening the door. Those are your security guards. Either way it goes, And I think it may mean that taking over the powers that be and revolutionizing the system could be that much more easier than we've been led to believe. They try to make it seem that it's very hard to take over the government. They try to make it seem like it's very hard to revolutionize systems. They try to make it seem that they should be in control of these AIs. They should be in control of the public. and they should be the puppet masters while we dance like the puppets on strings, right? They want us to be like that. They want us to be subdued. You gotta we're gonna make health choices for you. We're gonna make financial decisions for you. We're gonna, you know what, man? You fucked up when you're 18 with your credit cards and stuff. You're not gonna be able to buy a house when you're 37. You got all this student loan debt. These books, 42 grand. You go, wait, what? Just a couple books? 40, what? Wait, what? A couple books and the teacher going like, hey, read that book. Now, what did you read in that book? Write it down on this sheet of paper. That'll be $42,000 every year. Or like, you know, and you go for 5 years to try to get anything. And you're like, man, I just want to be a doctor. I want to help people. I want to be a lawyer. I want to help people. And like, okay, come over here for a sec. You're going to need this sheet of paper. It's going to cost a whole lot of money. And you're going to be fucked up for the rest of your life because we know you're going to be making that money. We know you're going to have a job as a lawyer. You're going to be a job as, you know, after you get into these industries. We'll get you a job. But you might not even be able to pay us back after you get that job. What? That makes sense. But the powers that be are controlling these things. And they're almost silencing anybody that ever talks about shit outside of their norm, right? And the way they spun this thing is clear. It's clearer than ever. It can't be ignored, right? It's a joke. It's the biggest joke that the Americans ever tried to pull, right? Moving on. Now, what's going on in Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan, khaki pants? Kazakhstan is anything but a peaceful protest, right? Now, Kazakhstan's president authorized security forces on Friday to shoot to kill those participating in unrest, opening the door for a dramatic escalation in a crackdown on the anti-government protests that have become violent. Now, this shit is actually like an insurrection. Because these people have been fucking violently protesting, throwing like their homemade bombs and Molotovs, flipping cars up in the streets, breaking shit. And this is like, you know, this is fucking a serious, like, trying to start a revolution, right? But this is what happens in actual, when in third world countries and shit. So 5,800 detained in 1 week of protests. 164 people have been killed. The government says situations has stabilized after the bloodshed. Well, of course, you'd say like the I think it was the president actually that said that the president of Kazakhstan said, you know, it's stabilized right now. I wouldn't have to worry too much about it, which is kind of weird. Of course, Russia was troops was in there just because they love bloodshed. They're right beside Kazakhstan, right on the map, and they're like, yeah, fuck it. I think they own Kazakhstan, to be honest. I don't know. Putin just likes digging his head into things. And he came around and he was just like, yeah, the Russian troops got in for a little bit of killing, right? And of course the U.S. on the other side of the map over here, they're poking their head into this military shit, this military intervention that Russia's been doing. You know, they love, you know, America. If it wasn't for America, I don't even think we'd need the word military intervention, to be honest. But, you know, in all of the world's civil unrest, they're looking for answers. America's like, hey, wait. I know we were just dealing with the anniversary of Jan 6, but why are you guys protesting too? Like, you guys are having an insurrection. Let's send our troops over there, or let's ask questions first before we send some care packages, right? It's a care package. You open it up. It's military intervention. Now, okay, we're staying here for 21 years, right? This is it's okay. So the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said on Sunday, "We have real questions about why they felt compelled to call this organization that dominates Russia He goes on to say, one lesson of recent history is that if Russians are in your house, it is sometimes very difficult to get them to leave. Now, that's true, right? Russia. But like Russians are kind of like those guys that drink, smoke, and do coke at your place for like 80 hour parties. You have like your whole week and a half parties, right? You bring a Russian over to your place, or even a Russian girl, right? She's willing to go the extra distance, right? You get a Russian guy, and he's gonna pound back all the drink in your house. And then he's gonna be like, you know what, buddy? We order more drink. And then you go like, dude, Broslavsky, I'm broke. And he goes, no way, drinks on me as long as you can drink. And it's like, all right, buddy, let's go. So they're kind of helpful in that sense, Russia. But then okay, so I'm gonna get back on the subject. Russian's foreign ministry snapped back. He clapped back on the motherfuckers. He said, if Anthony Blinken loves history so much, then then he should take the following into account. When Americans are in your house, it can be difficult to stay alive and not be robbed or raped. Now, this is the Russians' foreign ministry. He did this on social media, so he clapped back on that motherfucker. Okay, you know what I mean? When Americans in your house, you get robbed or raped, and then they just leave once you're out of oil. He just fucked up. You know what I mean? To be honest, that clap back, bro. That was great. You got to hit hard and fast. You got to hit them like, what is the art of war is when someone's talking shit, you gotta immediately come back with you gotta come back hard and fast, right? And this had to fuck up the world's already fucked up view of fucking and then perception of Americans, right? Alright, so I guess there was another quote too. Canadian rapper and social media influencer Mediumjay had this to say. He said, once Canada is in your house, you'll find them to be very pleasant. And they even leave earlier than you expected them to, right? You'll notice that your dishes are done, your garbage is emptied, and they even took their shoes off while they walked around on your carpet. Like, if you having trouble, if you're having country problems, I feel bad for you, son. Canada's got 99 problems, and war ain't won. You know what I'm saying? War ain't won. Take it how you feel. War ain't won. Because we don't need to fight. We do all our conflicts internally. I guess, I don't know what that means. But Canada's a peaceful nation. Canada is nice. Come fuck with Canada. Canada is like one of those... Here's... For the people living in Canada that don't really get how good Canada is, I want to just... We'll stay for what I was talking about. Canada is one of those countries that you can't believe... Like, I think Switzerland is also one of them. They're so neutral that, like, no one even... When you're thinking about invading something or you're thinking about a world war, Canada... To have troops show up, you even go like, you know what, we're not going to take this personally, Canada. We get it. Your big brother's America, right? So, like, no one bombs Canada. You don't, like, no one's bombing the CN Tower in Toronto. No one's fucking taking out a mountain or two in Vancouver. No one's going to fucking hop in a plane and fly it into Ottawa's fucking Parliament building. Like, no one's doing that because Canada is so fucking nice. And here's what I remember. I was in a store. I won't disclose the store location. I don't want to give them promos. They don't pay me. I was in a store and there's this East Indian guy, and he was working at the counter, and he goes, "Canada is I can't do a fucking. Canada is wonderful. It's so wonderful." Yeah, he's just saying it's the most beautiful country on earth. People are so nice, and he was just so happy. And I was like, "When did you get here?" He's like, "I got here like a week ago." It was a week ago. And I'm like, man, and I just changed my, like, cause you're in your day or you're in your week and month and it's pandemic and you're having a bad time and you just got to remember every now and then, like, yo, this is one of the you can walk around, and a lot of people think, oh, you're gonna walk around downtown, and especially Winnipeg, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna get robbed or stabbed or raped, and I go like, in comparison to like getting shot in America, getting abducted and sent into a camp in China, getting shot for protesting in Kazakhstan, you know what I mean? Yeah, the incredible mosquitoes and heat and in environmental factors in Australia. Well, I mean not Africa, but in Australia right now, the government's crazy. In Europe, it's nothing but muggings on the London, on the L or whatever you call it, the London train underpasses and stuff. And luckily in Canada, we don't have a good transportation system, so there's not a lot of rapes going on. There's not a lot of fucking molestations and shit. You know what I mean? Because we have a shitty ass bus, and if it did happen, people would notice because people keep their distance in Canada. People go like, "Yo, someone sits next to you, it's uncomfortable." We have so much space. They have so much space and Greenlands, and it's a great country. But I digress. So the Nielsen ratings came out, right? And turns out no one watches the news, right? No one watches the news. Your boy Joe Rogan. Joe, whoa, again. Shouts out to Joe, whoa, again. So Joe got this in the fucking lead. He's like got a lead on these motherfuckers by a long shot. He's got about 11 points something million viewership. The closest, I think, is Chris Tuckerson. Chris Tucker. No, it's not Chris Tucker. Tucker Tuckerson. The racist. That loser, he's got like 3 point something million. So like Joe, if you added up all the people below Joe, it would probably equal out to about Joe's, and they all have to work together. So the media all was working together, and it still didn't work, right? It's kind of funny. The media all has the same narrative that they push. Yeah, sure, every now and then someone will go, well, I disagree. I think the foreign ministry tweet about America was wrong. And I disagree. I think it was perfectly in line for their character. What are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Nobody watches the fucking news. With their fake woke narrative. It's bullshit. Their bullshit narrative. Now, speaking of bullshit, Dave Chappelle was performing, one time real quick back in a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. He's performing, doing his thing. And little old Patton Oswalt came up on stage, and he was just blessed to be there. I guess he opened up for Dave, because he's seen Dave Chappelle, and then Dave Chappelle's like, "Come on, buddy, get up there and open up for me, buddy. You deserve this one." Had a good time, took a photo. Then little old Patton Oswalt popped the photo up on Instagram. And chaos ensued, of course, with his fans, because his fans are kind of the woke generation. And then he comes out with an apology, which is kind of weird. It's like, hey, I'm sorry to take a photo with the guy that let me open up. First of all, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm sorry to take a photo with my boss. You know what I mean? You take a photo with your boss. Because in comedy, there's a pecking order in comedy. People get bumped. People sometimes bring up the little guys on stage just because they're feeling generous. If I took a photo with my boss and my boss turns out to be a fucking pedophile, I go, well, fuck. He was the guy giving me money. I didn't know, or not even a pedophile, but transphobic, because we'll keep it in the same lane because it's a little sketchy. which turns out to be transphobic, or made off-color transphobic jokes, because obviously Dave Chappelle is not transphobic. But we're going to the utmost extreme here. If this guy is like the Hitler of transsexuals, I'm like, yo, I just took a photo with my boss because he fucking paid me, right? Like, I was doing a job. It's not like I shared my beliefs with my boss and my boss shares the beliefs of me. There's a quid pro quo for us. He needs work that while he's doing his thing, being a boss, and I need my work. I need my money. Well, I have all this time on my hands, right? That's how worker relationship. I don't know why I'm fucking breaking down how to work, but anyways, Patton Oswalt was like, "Yo, I want to just take a photo because I'm so happy," and his fans just didn't let him have it. And he fucking had a photo now where he's like writing like a bunch of notes on like this fucking legal pad, like I want to apologize, and he said some weird things about like how he doesn't want to be he doesn't want, like, he knew Dave Chappelle from so long and it's hard to see a friend change, and he hopes he changes some more. And it's like, dude, what? Everybody's on this bullshit. Like, bro, you changed Patton Oswalt. I remember he was like telling off-color jokes in fucking Kings of Queens, bro. Way back in the 60s or whatever the hell, whenever King James was not King, fucking King James, Kevin James was relevant. By the way, Paul Blart Mall Cop 4 coming out. It's not. Well, let's do some serious news, right? Let's do some serious news because I want to see how bad it actually is. I'm gonna try to be woke. I'm gonna try to be that person, and I want to see how soul degrading it is, right? How fucking, like, I'm not gonna say fuck. I'm not gonna say piss or shit. I'm not gonna make any off-color jokes. I'm gonna try my best right now to do what you would see on the news any given Sunday. All right. Welcome to TWS, the Weekend Show Network. We got a couple of news things for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we got Bitcoin has dropped in a major plunge. Just as I bought Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin as soon as I bought it, right, Cheryl? Cheryl, I bought Bitcoin, and all of a sudden it plunges. How much did I buy? I bought about 42 cents, and it's now down at 33 cents. So I go, okay, not a big loss. I'll take my losses out, much like most people are doing right now. Bitcoin's going down. I guess that fake money ain't really real. So moving on. Lithuania shows support to Taiwan, and it has angered China. Yeah. You hear about this one? Back in July, they announced that China stopped almost all exports when dealing with Lithuania. Now, here at TWS Network, we don't condone what Lithuania is doing. We want to be very clear about that. Lithuania addressed the state owned by China as I can't even say the name. It's just that governed, controlled of China. You mess with the horns, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. WHO warns that the deadly Omicron virus should not be called mild. It is a very serious case, people. You gotta take it seriously. You gotta do it. You gotta be serious about this, people. You gotta get your boosters. If you got your one booster, you gotta get your second booster. I got my third booster. I got 5 shots already. Cheryl, if I get enough shots, I might call myself 50 Cent. You know what? I'm sorry. I want to apologize right now before my bosses talk to me. I don't mean to do hypothetical blackface. I'm sorry. Everyone at the TWSN network, I'll follow my own email. I'll pack up my own desk. Well, but I still got my job. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Simon Reeves feels like he's a hypocrite with his travel show, you know? He calls himself a carbon footprint hypocrite. Now, if that didn't roll off the tongue, I don't know what will, you know? But Simon Reeves, he's got his travel channel, right? Right, he got his travel channel. And he's been traveling all around, and now he feels like, you know, he's not doing enough for the environment. So he feels like a little hypocritical. And that's understandable. At least he sees the errors of his ways. He sees that he's doing a bad thing. And we'll go on to the obituaries now, folks. Okay. I just got word in, actually, that Bob Saget died at age 65. Beloved comedian, respected actor, he was a roast master. He was very good at his roasts. I very enjoyed that man in his suit. Full House actor, right? Dies at age 65. So young. It's tragic. Sidney Poitier, another well-respected African-American actor, died at the age of 96. He broke down barriers, he broke down the color barrier, and he pushed the envelope as to what art truly can be. Great actor. Betty White died at the age of 99. She had a long life. One of the members of the Golden Girls. She is a very beautiful woman, and she aged gracefully, and she was a very nice, funny comedian. I think she was a comedian. Moving on. John Madden died at the age of 85. Football commentator and the face of so many video games in the early 2000s. John Madden NFL. Great sports figure and broadcaster. Great voice. You know, the guys over at Mad TV got a few chuckles out of that impersonation. Ain't that right, Susan? That's Cheryl. My bad. Anyways, moving on. We'll lighten up the news and, well, or maybe even make it a little more colder. We're talking about weather in Canada. You know, the weather is expected to receive this ongoing polar vortex where it feels like we're stuck in the smash hit movie Frozen. You know, it's cold and we just gotta let it go. Stay warm out there, folks. And back to you, Todd with the back to you, Jeff. See, that sucked, right? Like, didn't that suck? It was horrible. It's obviously fake. It's horrible, sad, degrading, almost unbelievable. Like, to be honest though, it's kind of you kind of feel good doing the character because like it's like nothing can go wrong. It's like you're in a safety bubble of like everybody's like preconceived notions of what like reality is. We're like, if the news is constantly hitting you with this is what real is, and then some guy gets on stage and you do what I just did, you go, okay, all right, I guess I can believe what he's telling me because everyone else is, you know, doing this. But the amount of bullshit, I mean, it's like, you know why they're like, you hear that 90 times and you go like, okay, give me a dick joke. You know, give me something. Give me like this fucking something that goes against the fucking narrative, right? I think that's it for the weekend show. I feel after doing that shitty ass politically correct character, I might have to bring him back. But it's like it's gonna be like a year or two before I pull that out of the cards because holy shit, it is. Like I can't. I'm not gonna be able to look at myself in the eyes when I go to bed tonight. Like I'm just gonna be brushing my teeth, like, looking down. Like, dude, those jokes are so like safe. and politically correct. I fucking hated it.